Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about place value in regards to decimals. So your goal is I can identify specific place values in a decimal. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This slide is very important, so you want to make sure that you write this down because it's going to tell you the place values on the left-hand side, which is going to be on the left-hand side of the decimals, which are going to be your whole numbers, and then on the right-hand side of the decimal, which are going to be your decimal places. So I'm actually going to start in the middle at the decimal spot, which is going to be right here. So the place value of the decimal, and the way that we say the decimal, is the word and. We do not say point, and we do not say decimal. We say the word and. Okay? Now moving to the left, so this way, are place values that you should already be familiar with. So you have the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, and the thousands place. Now, if we go back to the decimal and we move to the right, we have decimal places. So you'll notice that there's no ones place after the decimal. We go straight to something called the tenths place. So it's not the tens, it's the tenths. It has a THS at the end, followed by the hundredths. So again, we have THS at the end, followed by the thousandths. So again, THS at the end, and then followed by the 10,000ths. So again, followed by the THS at the end. So it really follows the same pattern as the left-hand side, except that there's no oneth place. We go straight to the tenths. And it's almost like you're spitting when you say it. So if you're spitting, it's almost like you're saying it correctly. Okay? So this is something that you want to keep handy as we work throughout the lesson. So here are some decimals, and we're just going to simply list out what their place value is. So we have, here's the decimal point, which is referred to as and the number right after the decimal point is going to be the tenths place. And we're going to have that THS because it's after the decimal. Now here we have a number that's 2 spots after the decimal, and so that's going to be the hundredths. And again, you're going to notice that that's the THS. Now here we have the decimal point, and we go 4 spots out. So we're going to go tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. And again, you're going to see that we have that THS at the end. Now in number 4, we have a number that's to the left of the decimal. So we have the decimal here, and we have ones, and then we have tens. Now since we're on the left-hand side of the decimal, there's no thus, okay? And then number 5, we're also on the left-hand side of the decimal. So we have ones, tens, and hundreds. All right. So let's do a couple more examples here. We'll go a little bit quicker. We have the decimal again, and we have ones and tens. Again, no TH because we're on the left-hand side. Number 7, we have the decimal here, but we're going to the right-hand side now. So tenths, hundredths. So you're going to notice that THS. All right, here's the decimal. Now, this one wasn't on your chart, but you should be able to figure it out. So we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. But because it's on the left-hand side, there's no THS. All right, now we're working on the right-hand side. So we have a decimal, so we're going to have tenths, hundredths, thousands. And we have that THS. And then here's our decimal, and we're just 1 spot over. And remember, there's no 1 spot after the decimal. We go straight to the tenths. Okay? Now that you've taken it from a decimal and you've found the place value, what happens when I give you a decimal and I ask you to say the entire thing in words? So what we're going to do is we have step 1. Okay? So here's the decimal that I'm going to give you. So right now, the way that you know how to say that is 18.91. But I'm going to teach you how to say that properly. So step 1 is you're going to say the whole number part, okay? And the whole number part is this part right here. It's the part before the decimal. And so that number right there is 18, okay? So you're going to say 18. Now, step 2 is you're going to say and instead of point or instead of decimal, okay? Because remember, the way that you say the decimals, you say and. So far we have 18 and, okay? That's the easy part. Now, the third step is the hardest, okay, but it's not too hard. You're going to say the decimal part, finishing with the place value of where the number ends, okay? So we have 18 and 91. You're going to say that together. Now, what is this place value right here? That's the last number. That's hundredths. So 91 hundredths. Just like that. And you have the THS on the end right there because it's after the decimal. So let's go ahead and practice some of those here, okay? So example 1, so we have 12.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the whole number part first, so 12. Then we have to say the decimal part. We say and. Now we say everything after the decimal. So there's only one number after, and that's 5, and the place value is tenths. So 5 tenths. Okay, make sure we have that THS on the end. Okay, all right, now let's look at example number 2. So again, we're going to say the whole number part here, 126. Now notice that I put a hyphen between 26. So you always put a hyphen between like 21, 22, 23, 47, 48, 49, okay, things like that. Okay, then you're going to say the decimal, which is and now we have to say the part after the decimal. So this number right here is just 3, okay, but we have to say the last place value. So that's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 3 thousandths. Make sure you have that THS on the end, okay? Let's try another one. So we're going to say the whole number part first, which is 1. Then we're going to say the decimal, which is and. And remember, you can only say and once in the problem because there's only one decimal ever in the problem. Now, here we have a bigger number after the decimal. So that's 967. 960. Now watch. 60 hyphen 7. Now what's the place value at the end? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. With my THS at the end. Okay, let's try this one right here. So we're going to say the whole number part first. Okay, so 425. And then don't forget your hyphen between 25. Okay, now say the decimal part and then we have the part after the decimal. So that number right there is 12. And what's the place value of the last number? Tenths, hundredths. So we have 425 and 12 hundredths. Okay, so go ahead and try these 3 on your own. Oh, actually, you know what? Number 1 here, we haven't done one yet with no whole number in the front. So let's do that one together, okay? So with this one here, there's no whole numbers. So you don't have to say 0 and, okay? You can just get rid of that part altogether, and you just say the part after the decimal, which is 9/10. Okay, we haven't done an example like that yet. Okay, so go ahead and do the next two on your own. Don't forget your hyphens. All right, so let's go over these. Hit pause if you're not done and you need more time. So here the whole number is 2. So 2 and, then we have 81, put the hyphen between the 81, and then the last place value here is hundredths. Then number 3, we have 20, so I put 20, then your decimal, and then you have 415 thousandths. Okay? Try the next 3 on your own as well. Don't forget your hyphens. And remember, you should only have the word and used once. All right, let's go ahead and review here. So for our first one, the whole number was 14, and then we have the decimal and, then we have 6, and we end in the last place value, which is hundredths. Okay, then for the next one, our whole number is 100, then we have the decimal and then this is a big one. Now notice I'm not going to use the word and again. 6,809, and then we end in 10 thousandths. Now our last one is 933. Then we have the decimal point and then this one is just 2, but it goes out to the 10 thousandths. All right, now the last thing we're going to do is the reverse of that. So what happens when I give you the word form, but I need you to give me the decimal? So what we're going to do is look at the first one here, 18 and 43 thousandths. The first thing I want you to do is find the word and circle it. That's your decimal point. So put a decimal point. Now, what's on the left of the decimal point? 18. So put in 18. Now, look at the right of the decimal point. Find the place value. Thousands. How many spots is that? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay? So the number is 43. So you work backwards. And what goes in this spot right here? A 0. So your number is 18.043. Okay? Let's try it with the next one. 3 and 6/10. Find the and, put your decimal, go to the left, and what's the number? 3, so that's on this side. Then go to the right, and your place value is tenths, so we know that's one spot, and the number is 6. Okay? Then the next one, 905 thousandths. Now there's no and word in there, and so that means that it's going to be a 0 point. Okay? So the place value is thousandths. So you're going to go out tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So you have 905. So you just work backwards, just like that. Okay? Let's try the next one. 24 and 8/10,000ths. So circle your and, put your decimal point. You're going to go to the left. So you have the number 24 on the left, and then on the right, you have the 10,000ths spot. So you go out tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, and you have the number 8. So you start all the way at the end, and then you fill in the rest of it with zeros. All right, last one, 1 and 74/100ths. So you find the and, go ahead and circle it, and put your decimal point there. If you go to the left, you have the number 1. So put 1 on the left-hand side of your decimal. Then you go to the right, and you have your place value of hundredths. So you go out tenths, hundredths, and your number is 74. So you're just going to work backwards, and it fills up all the spots for you, just like that. All right. That is the end of this lesson on place value, and we will do much more practice in class.